Hey guys, before the video starts, as always, please leave your questions in the comments down below and I'll make sure I answer them in next week's Sunday catch-up. Enjoy the video! Hey there guys, it's Martyn here and welcome to another edition of the Sunday catch-up volume 14. I think we're on 14. I hope you've all had a fantastic week, and of course we're going to get right into the usual topics. We're going to have stuff about the channel, we're going to have stuff not the news, we're going to have your own Q&A, just a good old time. So let's get right into the first thing. Work has actually been pretty quiet this week. I mean, I'm recording this on a Friday, and I'm actually going to work this evening and the next evening because, as I said, at the theatre we have Dara O'Brien. So if you're a fan of that guy, you should definitely come because I think there's tickets still available. And next week, if anyone's interested, we have An Officer and a Gentleman, which is a musical version of the 80s classic starring Richard Gere. I don't know how it's going to work as a musical, but they're trying it, so let's give them the benefit of the doubt. So if you're a fan of the 80s and you like your musicals, come on down and see An Officer and a Gentleman. That's pretty much been all my work.
I ain't never read that script, rehearsed the lines, or read my bit.
Acting, schmacting. Well, with the acting this week. On Thursday, I went to Halifax to take part in Venues North, which is a meeting in a sorts where programmers from all sorts of theatres in the north come down and sort of see new projects and see if they want to offer their help. I represented No Horizon, which is a new musical that I took part in. It's about a blind Yorkshireman who's good at maths, which is literally my typecast if you think about it. That went really well, so hopefully now it's just a waiting game. That show might develop more. Soon, very soon actually, I'll be heading down south to start rehearsals for On a String, which I mentioned is at the Bath Fringe on Sunday, the 3rd of June. Again, please get your tickets if you're near that area. I believe it's just opposite the Bath Spa station where we're going to be, in Brunel Square I think it is, so if you're around, please do come and give us a watch. That's Sunday, the 3rd of June at 1:15 PM. The summer project, can't quite reveal it yet. Give it another week and I'll probably be able to reveal it to you then. But trust me, there is some acting stuff going on in the summer that, as I said, is touring around the country and give you another chance to see yours truly if you want to. That's pretty much been all my acting. Moving on.
Oh God, I love me.
The channel, this is probably going to be the biggest usual segment. So, as you could probably guess from the title, there are going to be some changes. Now, this is just mainly in terms of schedule. With the acting work coming up and increases in work and things I just have to do in general, we're probably going to get to 4 videos every week. I know this is less than the 5 or sometimes 6 I've been doing, but it's just a sacrifice I'm going to have to make. So here's what the new plan is going to be. On Mondays, you are still going to get a DVD haul. We're going to go down to 1 DVD haul a week. Then moving on to Wednesdays is when I'm going to post the Now Review. You'll still get Now Reviews running for as many weeks as possible. On Fridays, you're going to get the ident review. I have a lot of fun making and I want to continue. I mean, by the time you watch this, the second episode will already be out about rhythm and movement, so I hope you've watched that. And then also I've completed already next week, so that's how much fun I've been making them. So you'll get an ident review every Friday. And of course on Sundays you will get the Sunday catch-up. Now the sort of 3 days, the Tuesday, the Thursday and the Saturday, if there's something I really want to talk about desperately, like say a millionaire event or something like that, I will post on those days, but generally going forward we're going to have set days, I think, of Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, unless I say otherwise. I'm going to try and get my community tab up and running, so if there's any immediate changes I can put that out to you guys. But yeah, the support has been great. Please do keep sticking around on the channel. That millionaire video has done really well, so please keep watching it or liking it, sharing it around, because I love hearing your guys' opinions on it as well and whether you thought it was a good or bad revival. But yeah, the channel's doing fab. We've cracked 1.5k, which is brilliant, and yeah, let's keep going. Let's aim for 1.6 and beyond. That's pretty much all for the channel this week, so moving swiftly on to not the news this week. Well, what not news do I have for you this week? Did you know that a royal wedding is coming? This isn't news, it's not in my opinion news, hence why I'm talking about it. It's happening on Saturday, so by the time you watch this it would have happened, and I hope you had a great time. I don't really care. And I mean, it's a whole big event. I'm glad it's not as hyped up as William and Kate's was, but the royal weddings, they just cost this country so much money. I mean, yes, I know the royal family, you could argue they serve a purpose. They bring in lots of tourism, lots of traction to this country, but in just terms of cost and the amount we lose to that. I just think it's a bit ridiculous. Nevertheless, if you're a fan of this whole event and you like Harry and Meghan, then by all means, please do go and watch it on the TV, be there in London with all the parades and stuff, but it's just not for me. I'm gonna go about my day unaffected. Also, did you know that Lifetime in America has for some reason decided to make a little drama about Harry and Meghan, the romance story, and to say it's cheesy would be an understatement.
And Meghan.
Harry, you look lovely. She makes me happy, so to hell with tradition.
Lifetime haven't done that well with their dramatizations, have they? Right, Q&A time on the Sunday catch-up. So, let's get right to your questions. First up, Moonwalker for Life asks, what is your favourite Michael Jackson concert? That's a very good question. There are a few contenders. A few years ago I would have told you Bucharest because that's all I knew. Maybe a few years ago I would have told you Bad Live in Wembley. But I think one of them, I'm honestly going to say, is the Bad Tour, but live in Yokohama in 1987. Because that's such a different set list. I know it's some of the older songs, but the whole way it's arranged, the song orders and the performance itself, I think the Yokohama concert's great. So that's probably my favourite. It's not one some people go and seek out because it's not as renowned as the Wembley tour in '88 and stuff, but no, if you can find a copy of Yokohama, then I'd definitely give that a watch. Will Mitchell says, thanks for answering my question, got one more for you. If you could be any incarnation of the Doctor, who would you be? That is a good question. I mean, if we're talking I have completely free reign, I'd love to be Capaldi just to sort of go through his character's emotions, because he was such a diverse Doctor compared to anything we ever had, and I still think he is the best actor as such we've had in the role. But I'd also love to have a go at William Hartnell, just be that crotchety old man. Also Sylvester McCoy, I'd want to give a try at being the sort of, clownish sort of character as well, with a hint of darkness. David Tennant just because he's cool. Yeah, so those would be my incarnation choices. Dord Khan says, what do you think about Suits and the Royal Wedding? Well, if you just watch Not the News, you'll know my thoughts on the Royal Wedding. I don't care. If you care, brilliant, and I hope you enjoy it. It's not for me. About Suits, I never watched Suits.
Sorry.
I'm not really into American dramas, to be honest. I watch Orange is the New Black. That's about it. I really need to get into some other American dramas, like Stranger Things, for example, but maybe I'll add Suits to the list, who knows. The Original Being asks, did you own any children's TV compilations on VHS when younger? Oh yeah, I own tons. I can't remember the name specifically, but they had all sorts. I had a tape that had an episode of Brum. It was the Wheels episode, actually, from the very first series. It had an episode of Sooty and Company on it. It had Rosie and Jim. It had Noddy. It had a Tots TV of Fireman Sam. Just the sort of 90s. It might have been a Ragdoll tape now that I think about it. But yeah, I had one from the BBC. It was mainly BBC shows from what I remember. I don't think I had many ITV ones. I had loads of those. I had an Australian one. I think it was Australian, New Zealand. Blinky Bill. If anyone knows Blinky Bill, that was a fun one I used to watch as a kid. All the sort of stuff that maybe wasn't broadcast in the UK often. Okie Kokie. Does anyone remember Okie Kokie? That was such a good show. A bit creepy now, but yeah, it was a good show.
And you need a helping hand. Cross the dell and ring the bell, he'll understand. Don't worry, 'cause here comes Okie Doke. The friendliest of folk is Mr. Okie Doke. Okie Doke, a helpful handy man. Get ready for good old Mr. Okie Doke.
It's a Grass Monster 17 asks, do you think Millionaire will come back for its true 20th anniversary on the 4th of September 2018? Well, do you know what? As I said, I'm convinced that if I was the programming commissioner, without any bias, I would think that this revival did well enough to generate buzz to bring it back again every few months. And being as this was in May, September's 4 months down the line, so I don't see it being out of the question, but I feel if it's going to happen, it needs to be announced probably June, July time. So I say don't get your hopes up too much that they're going to do a true 20th anniversary one, but if we do, then that'll be great. And finally, Andrew, Pao, Sorms, Sean, Piang, I'm so sorry if I got any of that wrong, asks, what is the font you use? It looks like Helvetica and Loose Rail Alphabet to me. Sad face? Why the sad face, bruh? It's a mix of fonts, really. The fonts I use in the title cards, it is actually Helvetica now that you mention it. I used to use Futura. I like Futura a lot. I think it was a great font. Avenir, I used to use Avenir quite a lot as well. Certain fonts I like, certain fonts I don't, but Helvetica seems to be my new favourite. And that seems to be all the questions for this week. Adam Martyn's biggest fan. Where are you? Have you left? But that is all your questions. Thank you so much again for commenting, and leave your questions down below and I'll answer some more next week. That does about round it up for this week's Sunday catch-up. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, leave a like, leave your comments or questions, share, subscribe, and until the next video, I will see you guys next time.